Yes, indeed.
The other
Just
young
let
man
you guys know,
is my
I am
agent,
recording.
Dr. Andre Strong.
Dr. Andre Strong.
Uh-huh.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Am I muted? Okay, all right.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you nice and clear.
We got two Andres on the line, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
just say doctor. You say doctor, you'll know who he's talking to, and I'll just be Andre.
Just call me Dre. Call me Dre.
You be Dre,
Trey?
okay, I'll be AJ. Cool.
All right, Trey, this
All
is
right.
wonderful.
My initials are AJ also. I'm
Oh, are
Andre.
they really? Oh, that's really okay.
Andre Jamal.
Oh, okay, cool.
I
Wow.
love the connections that are already made for us. I'm
Always.
gonna turn this fan off because it's bothering me.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't like seeing that whirling over my head. So, and I don't know how to adjust this any further. So,
Well, at least that's a really clear picture you got going there. Is that your camera?
that is my phone.
Your phone? Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
my
that's
phone camera.
excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm coming to be a real trust. You know, it's coming to be pretty trustworthy, more so than my computer, I think. But that's another conversation for another time. Can I get a gallery view so I can see everybody at the same time? Is that possible?
Swipe. You may need to swipe left.
Oh, swipe left. Where that makes me tap to speak. I don't want to do that. That's okay.
Swipe
Swipe right.
Yeah.
It's either left or right that you swipe on your phone and you'll get the gallery view.
Well, then it was right. I'll take that one. Well, once again, good morning to everyone. This is our initial podcast for this experience, and we're calling this what are we calling this? Wit at Work.
This is Buddy Jones and Friends Friday interviews.
Friday interviews. So this isn't this Wit at Work?
That's up to you. If you're starting your podcast, then this is Wit at Work.
That's what this is.
You're too fast for me. We come up with an idea, we draft it, and you just start doing it before you even finalize. But you go. I'm just here to help. I'm just here to turn the computer on.
So Dr. Terry, Reverend Terry, what do you prefer to be called?
Dr. Strong is fine. Reverend Strong is fine. Either one.
Reverend Strong. Okay, Dr. Strong. Reverend Dr. So not Reverend Dr. Strong.
You can use that. All of that is me. You can call me Terry if you want to. All of that is me.
In the course of our conversation, I may come to Terry.
Right.
But in the introduction, I really want to call you all that represents you in the way you represent the Lord in the best way.
Reverend Dr. Terry Strong.
All right, then. There we go. There we go. That works for me. I have to be transparent. I haven't had a chance to read all of the book.
I understand.
But the introduction is absolutely intriguing. And we're not going to get a chance to talk about everything today anyway.
That's fine.
But I certainly want, because I have to stick to the time parameters. I have to leave here at 9:30 this morning. As you say, Andre, this was not something that we had a chance to plan deeply in advance, but I believe in the timing of Creator, and this was perfect timing as far as I'm concerned, as I can see it, because Reverend Dr. Terry Strong has just returned from San Diego to her home are you in Memphis?
Correct.
In Memphis, Tennessee, where she was here filming the trailer for her film. And so this is perfect timing as far as I can see, as she was filming the play version or the the film version, the movie version of her book, Lynching Lynchism. Am I correct in saying it that way?
Correct.
Now, is that the title of the film, actually?
We are still teetering between lynching lynchism and true freedom.
Okay. Okay. I'll let you talk more about that as we go into the interview. Because that's the whole idea. You know, we want to pitch your movie. So actually we're pitching the trailer at this point.
Correct.
So Trey, is that right? Am I pronouncing your?
Yes, Dre. That's me.
Okay. What is your role in all of these things that are going on? I recognize the similar, the same last name, but I don't know what that means.
Okay. Well, first off, I am Reverend Dr. Terry Strong's agent, and not only am I her agent, I am her oldest son, and I'm responsible for a lot of bookings, book signings, deals, speaking engagements, getting things together, just managing her day-to-day, routine. And
He's being modest because he actually is the executive director of the trailer, the executive producer of the trailer as well.
Okay. Well, I knew that if I just let it roll on a little bit, that it would roll out. But I wanted to make sure that I had a better picture of just other than what my intuition was giving me. So what my intuition gave me was that you are a right hand, a left hand, and a straight up middle person to support this ministry. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. All right. Thank you for allowing the poet in me just kind of flow out there. That's what we do. So
Yes.
So would you like to be included on camera with this introduction, Trey?
Yes, ma'am. That's fine.
Okay, all right, that's fine, that's wonderful. So I can introduce you then as Andre Strong.
Introduce him as Dr. Andre Strong. He is a professor at Delaware State University in Dover, Delaware.
Okay. Excellent. I have a friend who just retired off of the social work staff at, I believe that's to say that there's two schools there in Dover. But
there's Delaware State University and there's Wesley College.
Okay, Delaware State. She was at Delaware State. Dr. Dolores Fingerwright.
Yeah.
Longtime friend.
Yeah.
Longtime friend, indeed, and mentor. I love these connections.
Look at there, another connection.
Exactly. I can't wait to call her later on today to tell her that we're working at this together. What time is it now, Andre? Andre, agent. Well, you both agents.
I have 8:58, but I already started recording just informally. I thought first you should introduce our idea of wit at work. We're trying to capture, mother wit, and how people are using their wisdom, and as kind of why we're doing this interview. And
Okay.
then you want to formally have each person introduce themselves, and then you've got some questions, I'm sure.
That's really the best way to do this.
Right, and I think we may have in a couple of minutes, Buddy may join us, and Pam is on the road, so she won't be here. So
Yeah.
I
don't think Buddy's going to be here. He told me.
Oh, he's
that.
not? Okay,
Uh-huh.
great. Okay.
So I think it's going to be us. And just so you know, Reverend Dr. Terry and Dr. Andre, we're coming together here as a group because of my cousin, who we affectionately call Buddy Jones. His name, his given name is Richard Allen Jones, and he was named obviously after
After Richard Allen.
Exactly,
Correct.
exactly. But he's had an amazing career as a human being, as an African American man. But he's been able to use his gifts to convene people in ways that they are willing to collaborate to pull forward the kingdom.
Okay.
He doesn't say it that way, but that's exactly what it is. So we come together. We've been meeting on Zoom for now of the last about 18 months, and out of that has come this podcast, the book club, the trip to the National Forest, where we saw contracting work that he has done over the years, millions of dollars worth of contracting work in the Sierra National Park, that nobody knows that this African American man and his wife have done this. So we're pulling forth the visions and the accomplishments that we feel need to be posted so people can get to them, know who they are, what's going on, and have access to it. And the access comes as a result of the platform that we're using, which is known as TOTA, which is an acronym for, come on, help me, Andre. Traditions, there it goes, Traditions of the Ancestors .world. So that's the platform that we're able to have all of these podcasts on, and articles. If you go on TOTA, you'll see articles done by Andre James and myself and other people talking about just what we're discussing now, elevating the positive aspects of our culture and who we are and what we're about and what we're moving into the future to do. So that's it in a thumbnail. And Andre, I'm going to ask you to help me with keeping time.
Okay. Well, it's 9:01 a.m. I think we planned for an hour.
No,
And if
no,
it's-
no. We plan
30 minutes.
30
30
minutes.
Oh,
Actually,
30 minutes?
25 minutes.
Well, you better talk fast then. Here we go.
we can do that. But
Okay, 30 minutes. Great. Well, we can start now. Great.
actually let's go for 25, and then we'll wind it up in that last 5 minutes. Is that okay?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
All right, fine. Then I will just begin, since we're already recording. Good morning, good morning, good morning, all of the beloved, the family of the beloved. We are so delighted to be here this morning. My name is Elise Smith Cooper, and I'm known by several names. I'm known by any number of titles, and I get a chance to respond to many different roles. The role that I enjoy absolutely best is that of being a child of God. And the gifts that come with that have to do with storytelling and poetry and eliciting other people's stories. That's what I'm here to do today. I'm here to elicit the stories of people that are doing amazing things in our world, and we need to know about them. The name of this podcast is Wit at Work. And the wit that we're talking about is mother wit. When I mention that term to my great-grandchildren and grandchildren, they say, is that the same as common sense? I say, well, close to it. And then they're quick to say, well, it's not so common. And I say, well, that's because of our responsibilities not having been taken in the way that we should. It's up to us to speak it in the atmosphere.
Yes.
We have that authority to do that. And so, speaking of authority, I truly am grateful to be able to introduce my first guest on this podcasting series. I'm going to let her really introduce herself and her son introduce himself, because they have so many accolades and I don't want to miss one. So I would like to introduce and present to you she's becoming a great friend, and we're going to be even greater friends. I can feel it in my bones.
Absolutely.
Reverend Dr. Terry Strong from Memphis, Tennessee. Dr. Strong, would you introduce yourself? And then I'm going to let you introduce, bring your son on to introduce himself, if you don't mind.
Great, great, great. I'd like to first say good morning and thank you, Reverend Elise Smith Cooper, for the invitation. I am humbled and delighted to be here. I appreciate you so much. And I just appreciate the connection that we have made already. And to introduce myself, like she said, I am Reverend Dr. Terry Strong, and I am a believer in Jesus Christ above everything else that I am. And I am a 25-year retired veteran of the criminal justice system. I am a criminal justice specialist. I am a minister in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, an itinerant elder, the pastor of St. Paul AME Church in South Fulton, Tennessee. I am the author of 6 publications, and the one that we will discuss today briefly is Lynching Lynchism. It's time to heal and what we must do. I am a child advocate. I am a past foster mother. So I am I've worn a whole lot of hats and still wear a lot of hats. And I would also like to introduce my my agent, my producer, and my son, Dr. Andre Strong, who has been a great help in this effort. And I'll just let him introduce himself. Go ahead, Andre.
Good morning, everyone. First, I want to thank Reverend Cooper for allowing us to be on this show today. You know, we are just so elated to be here. Yes, my name is Dr. Andre Strong. I am a professor, a mathematics professor at Delaware State University in Dover, Delaware. I also am an owner of 3 independent tax firms. I have one tax firm in Dover, Delaware. I have another tax firm in Baltimore, Maryland, and I have a third one in Greenville, Mississippi. I also had a trucking company, a Better Day Logistics, for a while. And I've done research in fluid mechanics, image processing, and I did research in numerical analysis also. And, you know, lynching lynchism, it came from, it just sprouted out from all of the research and the information we have acquired over a period of time. My mom and I, you know, I stumbled across this documentary entitled The Green Book, A Guide to Freedom. And I was just so eager to share it with my mom. And once I shared it with my mom, it's just like information just started falling out of the sky. And to be honest with you, I didn't even see this coming. And, you know, here we are today. So I just want to thank you for helping us, you know, get the message out.
Isn't that the way our God works?
Yes, it
This
is.
is my favorite saying is I love watching God work, and I truly do.
I love it.
You have opened up the Pandora's box, the fountain of information, just with your introduction of yourself. I didn't know all of those things about you, but the whole idea of Wit at Work is putting out into the atmosphere the things that we have been doing and are continuing to do as a legacy for those who come behind us, who have so often been inundated with information that did not serve our image well. And you mentioned the title of the book. We hadn't mentioned it yet, Lynching Lynchism, which is the current publication that we're here to speak forth into more power and more strength and more activity and knowledge about, because you have made this book or making it into a movie, and you have just completed the trailer for the movie.
Correct.
Reverend Dr. Strong, would you mind telling us a little bit about that? Because I know you came from Memphis to San Diego to do the trailer. So would you talk about it a little bit, please?
I certainly will. The origin of the book actually started in 1985, believe it or not. And it began when I had read the Lynch letter, Willie Lynch's letter on how to control slaves for 300 years. And when I read that letter, I became angry and frustrated because I thought that the principles needed to be reversed. And so I wrote a little, I began to write the reversal, and I picked it up and put it down for all of these years, and finally picked it back up with a passion to finish it. And so I sent the book to Jane Elliott, who is the brown-eyed, blue-eyed. She did the brown-eyed, blue-eyed study the day after Martin King died, Dr. Martin Luther King died. And she has been an icon ever since. So I sent the book to her, and she said, this is the best book on race relations I've ever seen. She said, you know more about race relations than I ever have, and I've been doing this 30 years. She said, I want your name out there. I want it up in lights. I want your principles out there. She said, I want this to even be a movie. And so we began to work in that vein towards making these principles a movie. And so we got together and when she spoke that into the atmosphere, as you say, God began to put all the pieces into place. I mean, he brought all the people together, some from South Carolina, San Diego, Memphis. He's bringing all of it together to bring this movie to fruition based on the principles of this book. And I just couldn't, I'm like you, I'm just delighted to see it, watch him work, because it's him that's working this thing.
Well, the underlying principles have to do with freedom.
Yes.
True freedom.
True freedom.
And I understand that you are fluctuating between the title of the movie being either Lynching Lynchism or True Freedom. Yes.
I personally favor the title True Freedom, because that is the ultimate goal. Say, I got you. Got you. Okay, I love that, because it really speaks to what the purpose of the movie. Because if you think about it, you had slavery itself, then you had Jim Crow laws, then you had redlining, then you had mass incarceration. Each time you woke up to a situation, each time you were delivered, there was another system of control put in place to fool you with. And so my question, after we have seen mass incarceration and we see what it's done, and we're woke to what's going on with it, what is it that is that's in the making right now as we speak to create another system of control? And so when you read the Lynch letter, it was never designed to end the system of control. It was meant to be perpetual. And so if it's meant to be perpetual, he said it would last over 300 years, and it's lasted 400 years. And so if you look at that dilemma, you have to say, I might have to withdraw out of this oppressive system and create my own system. And I put it like this: our strength is in each other. We have been trying to penetrate a system that was designed to let a few in and lock others out, yet control all at the same time. It was designed to be perpetual. So it was designed to continuously oppress. Then we must face facts, separate ourselves, and build our own system, either on American soil or African soil. It must be our decision and our decision alone. We've got to get out from under the thumb of control that we've been under. We've got to begin to think for ourselves, support each other, and understand that we are our own answer. that we will never let anybody else control us and oppress us ever again. And that is on us. That is up to us to do that, and no one else.
And that is a cosmic assignment. That's to me is the ultimate of kingdom building.
Yes.
Because you're not just talking about, we're talking about it for Black people, but the truth be told, when this is done, when this comes to fruition, true freedom, it's true freedom for everybody.
Yes, yes.
No one is displaced, no one is excluded. But the truth be told, as you're looking at it from this book's perspective, anyway, from what I can see, you're talking about healing thyself, healing ourselves.
Yes.
Healing the pain and the anguish and all that has been done in an attempt to destroy us, but in actuality has not done that, but has left scars.
Exactly.
And the scars are in the process of being either excised and the damage that has been done to be obliterated and in some way transformed. I guess that's the term I'm looking for, transformation, because we can't get rid of all the stuff that has been done or the pain that has been experienced, but there has to be a transformative process. And that's what it sounds to me like.
Right.
I'm really fascinated to see how you're going to put this in a movie, because this book, I'm quoting off of the introduction to your book. It says the following pages are an introduction book with more information like this that will be a workbook of new Black codes. So you're talking about actually teaching people how to be truly free. But
absolutely.
But I want to know from, in your words, how are you going to do that in this movie? I'm really fascinated to know this. Not only do I want to know, I want to be a part of the movie, but I'm just letting you know that up front. But how are you going to do that in this movie?
The movie is just the beginning. The movie is the beginning of a new Black movement. And anybody who embraces, any culture that embraces the principles that will be set forth will be truly free. You see, you cannot allow a system to hold you hostage like we've been held hostage all these years. You've got to say, wait a minute, assimilation is a control factor. And I've got to step away and see who it is that I am. If this is who I am, then it's going to be because I made the decision, not because you forced that decision on me. You know, there's a manifesto in there that is so radical. When you get to it, it's going to be, so you've already read a little bit of that manifesto. And I tell you, it's, you have to say it with an attitude, because I will never let anybody else define who I am. And we've got to get to that point as a people. Every page in that book has a common theme. And that's what Dr. Martin Luther King said, we as a people will get to the promised land. We have for so long been reaching as individuals, trying to live up to a standard that's never meant for us to live up to it. And so if we as a people will get to the promised land, we are responsible for ourselves as a people, not just as individuals.
I gotta segue on this, because Dr. A.J. Strong, I mean, I'm sitting here breaking out in goose pimples, listening to your mother. You were birthed by her, raised by her, have been encouraged by her, and indeed are now encouraging her. How does this impact you? And what are you doing in just your own realm? I heard you talk about your businesses, but what is your legacy going to be? I know I'm not supposed to go into all this at this particular time, but I can't help it. It's just pointing to it. What's going on with you that you have been raised by this amazing woman?
Well, so what's happening is the knowledge that I am acquiring, I want to pay it forward. So My goal is to generate enough revenue to push forward this movement because, at the end of the day, the Bible says, money answereth all things, all things, all things.
Yeah, he
Not
got some
just
word in him
something.
too.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
so my goal is to, generate the revenue to push forward this information that needs to be shared with our people. And not just the information, but work ethics, tactics, uh entrepreneurship skills, you know, things that will really set you free. So that is my goal. That has been my role and in this in this journey.
So this trailer for this movie is just really the WD-40 for the moving forward of a movement.
Right. Yes. Yes. And when I say a movement, I'm talking about no Black person left behind. And it's not just, the principles are not just for Black people, but it's for anybody who wants to break free from any oppressive situation. Any oppressive, because my thing is, I always use the example of a surgeon. When you go to a surgeon, you go, yeah, you have some pain, but he tells you that he needs to remove something and you don't feel that bad really. But when he gets through with you, you feel horrible. When he has cut you open and stitched you back up, he does not sit there and hold your hand and say, I'm going to sit here until you're well. He sends you home. After the bleeding has stopped, after you're stabilized, but you're stabilized, but you're still in pain. He sends you home to heal yourself. And he gives you a list of instructions. And so with that, you go home and you heal yourself. You be careful with yourself. You don't depend on somebody else to say, I'm gonna hold your stitches together. You trust that those stitches are gonna hold. And no matter how many years pass by, you still feel the effects of that surgery, but you move on. And so that is the principle that I want us to use. That is the example that I want us to use. Yes, we have been hurt, we've been cut, we've been stabbed, we've been given some, put a Band-Aid on it. And yes, there's still pain, but we have got to move forward on making progress for ourselves, period.
And I heard you say also, we have to be aware of what the next pitfall.
Yes, that is paramount.
Planned.
Because you actually see it right now. We're in the midst of it, but we don't really, usually we don't get things till 10 years later. But you have in your they use all the entertainment, the criminal justice system, the politics, they use all of that in order to, as instruments of control. In your entertainment, you have Black Enough, you have LGBTQ, you have Asian, all of that is to put you on the back burner. When you never received your reparations, when you never received an actual hate crime law for what you have experienced. See, your hate crime law should have come back in the 30s, 40s, 50s. You never got that. You never got that. But all of a sudden, you got a transgender hate crime bill. You got an Asian hate crime bill. You have all of those things. Well, and you ask, well, where is the African American hate crime bill that we've been experiencing for a long time? It's time to heal, and this is what we must do. We have to do it for ourselves, and we have to do it together.
So true. And I don't mean to cast any aspersions on anything or anyone, but I am one who watches what gets thrown in our faces
Uh-huh.
and that we should be satisfied with. And I have nothing against there being a federal holiday for Juneteenth, not at all. We've been celebrating it for a very long time.
But
So
that's
we
not what we
understand it.
need.
It's not for us. It's not that exactly. That's not what we
That's
need.
not what that is to appease us.
Precisely.
I love the idea, but that is not what was needed.
Reverend
Exactly.
Coop,
Yes, sir.
could I like to interject on what Reverend Dr. Strong said about the surgeon stitching you up and sending you home and you healing yourself. I think a lot of the focus it from from oppression, we only see the bitter side of things. I think the bitterness is only publicized. The resilience is not publicized, you know, and I that may be a problem also. But a lot of the books that I've read, you know, it actually publicizes our resilience and the good side of the coin. You know, we only see the bad side of the coin on TV. That's what I wanted to
Exactly.
interject.
We have to read to get to the good part. We have
Exactly.
to be willing to expose ourselves, and it's and to actually read it and ingest it and digest it. And part of the issue that I'm seeing with our younger people, as I sat with one of my great grandsons this past week, he doesn't like to read. He's, you know, and that's not uncommon. He's interested in the action and the excitement and all that comes with the media that they're inundated with. And so that's why this movie is so fascinating to me, and the process that you're going through to create the movie. I'm hoping that you're going to have some animation in it. I'm hoping that there's going to be some bip bam, thank you ma'am, action. I don't mean it that way, but you know what I mean. You know, so that will grasp the people's attention, particularly our young people. I mean,
We
I
will
think
certainly, it's going to be action packed. It really is. And it's going to go from the Willie Lynch time all the way up to present. So it's going to span, and it's going to intrigue, and it is going to inspire.
and you know what? I have to correct myself because I too am a victim of the negative linguistics. Bip bam, thank you, ma'am, is not a positive inflection or reflection of our culture. So I need to take that back, because now that I think about it, I realize what that means. What I wanted to say was, my hope is that the action that will be portrayed will entice the audience, particularly our youth, to want to move forward with the positive actions that you're suggesting. So I have to do it. We all have to do it. Nobody is exempt, because we've all been raised in this culture, and the words have power.
Have power.
It's
Exactly.
9:27, so I think we want to summarize here. And
I do.
and
I
we
do.
we are not nearly finished. We're just starting.
By all means, that was the intention, was to entice and to encourage people to want to come back and hear more about what Reverend Dr. Terry Strong and Reverend Andre Strong and all the people that are engaged with this activity for true freedom, or lynching lynchism, however they decide to go with the title of the film, what's going to be happening, because this is a movement, and these are African-American people who are entrenched in this movement and determined to build the kingdom of God of heaven here on earth as it is in heaven. So we're going to close down for now, but recognize that we will be opening up again as soon as possible. We will be doing wit at work with more people, such as Reverend Dr. Terry Strong, Dr. Andre Strong, and other people who have a positive notion about where we're going and how to get there. So as for this time, let us say together, it's been an absolute joy. We're looking forward to meeting with you again. And AJ and Dr. Terry and Andre James,
Yes.
thank you so much for being here. This is
Thank you
Elise-
all so much for having us.
Without a doubt, we will meet again soon. This is Elise Smith Cooper saying so long for now. Many blessings. End recording.